We're back and it's time to install our brand new low pro intake manifold from Frankenstein Engine Dynamics on the LS3 and the 68 Camaro. Stick around. Hey everybody, welcome back to the garage, and really this is probably the first good glance that you're getting at the engine bay of the LS3 that we have installed in the 68 Camaro. And as you can see, this thing is just pooh, it is sweet. We've got our Frankenstein heads, our Frankenstein valley cover, our Frankenstein 4-port steam kit going over to a Griffin radiator setup. We're running BTR valve covers, MSD coils with BTR spark plug wires. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see the Hedman headers, but we've got Hedman headers down in here that just clear for days. And this is set all the way back. I think what we're going to end up doing, because we've kind of pivoted, originally we were going to go with Power Glide and gear vendor setup on this. I think what we're going to end up doing now is scooting this thing forward some, and then we're going to do a ZF 8-speed swap on this setup. So I'm getting the parts around for that. You're not going to want to miss that. We're going to be integrating all of that in with the core, along with setting this thing up for the core. The last big thing that we needed to do before we started laying out all the wiring stuff was get the intake manifold in place. Gives us a better idea of where we're going to route wires, things like that. But for now, I've got ICT block-off plates on the head, so I'm going to go ahead and pop those off so we can drop our low pro manifold from Frankenstein Engine Dynamics on this motor. Make sure and grab a baggie so I have some place for my hardware. These are all going to be 5mm hex head bolts, and it's going to be the same way on the Frankenstein intake manifold. So let me get these out of the way and then we'll drop the new manifold on place and mock up our throttle body. Okay, now that we've got that out of the way, it's time to drop the new intake manifold on. I don't know what's your guys' thoughts on using anti-seize for the bolts for these. I generally don't on the intake manifold side, like on the exhaust side. I don't think it really gets hot enough, and I don't, I don't know. What's your thoughts? I'm going to send it without them. But let's do the fun part. Let's drop this beauty on. Oh, yeah. Oh. Excuse me as I just enjoy this way too much. So, got some bolts by the runners. Let's get a couple of these lined up and started. I'm in the right place, get started. If I can get one started, we'll be good. I'm going to be able to get a T-handle in there. Oh yeah. Okay, that one started. Let's get the rear on the other side started so we know we're aligned. There we go. Much better. Okay, don't want to run that down too tight till we get the rest of them started. And I see the first problem that we're going to run into. These BTR valve covers are just not beautiful enough for this intake manifold. they're pretty dull looking in comparison. We're going to have to find a nice set of billet valve covers to go with this. But the big thing is I still want to leave the coil, I want to set that the coil packs mount on the valve covers. I'll have to look at what all's available. I know the motion valve covers are good looking, but I don't know, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you can mount the coils on those. And that's kind of, I don't want to deal with having to mount the coils anywhere else in the car. So, but man, they look really plain Jane compared to this intake manifold. Don't get carried away on the torque with these either. I mean, you'd be surprised. I'm guessing these are probably 8 to 10 foot-pounds at most. That's one of the biggest things that I see whenever people are working on LSs is they like to torque these things down like they're working on cast iron blocks whenever they're dealing with aluminum heads and stuff like that. It's so easy to strip things out on these aluminum heads, or blocks for that matter, whenever we're talking about LSs. So, you know, the exhaust side of things, what, 15 to 18 foot-pounds. Intake side, probably 10 to 12 at the most. So just be aware, you know, don't hulk these things down. Golly, the clearance on these is just so good. Yeah, buddy. Let's throw our throttle body on. Looking good so far. Next, we need to get the injectors out of the old intake manifold, get them swapped over and mount the rails up. I believe that we're running the short injectors. Let's see how straightforward this is. Should be. It's really cool. They include guide pins for your injector rail mounts, so they're lined up properly. So we'll go around and pop these in the hole that's not threaded. There's one. Being careful not to drop them down an injector hole. Get zoomed in here a little bit better. I don't know if you're going to be able to see the guide pin that I dropped down there. You've got two sides. You can see that there's a screw hole. Hold on, let me get this in focus. Screw hole, and then this side's going to go over our pin. Did I get that right? Yeah. Okay. Drop this in here like so. Oh, these are a different size down. These may be SAE. Yeah, these are what, 3/16? So now we got our fuel rail standoffs in place. They're actually threaded, so we'll be going through the fuel rail into these. I'll double check in the packaging. I think I don't have the bolts for this. And that's not on Frankenstein per se, because this actual head intake manifold was not in a box. Long story, but this was kind of like a display one that they had sitting around because they could get it to me super quick. And so I said, yeah, I'll go ahead and take it. So they went through and replaced all the gaskets on it and the hardware. My guess is they just forgot the 4 screws for that. But there is some screws on the taller fuel rail mounts. And so if those are long enough, we'll see if those work. And they are. They're long enough. And I'm guessing that's why, because these are actually recessed down in there. You can see that'll be enough to get purchase on that. Obviously, we want to get the injectors in place first, but essentially that's what we're looking at when it's all said and done. We're just going in with stock LS3 injectors right now. If you find that these things are a little bit tight to fit, might have to swap the O-rings on these. I'm not sure these red ones are the same bore size. We'll see if, yeah, they're not going to work in there. So I'm going to have to get a slightly smaller injector ring. Now, if we check the top side, I don't think we're going to have an issue there. No, that's the right size. So just be aware, you might need to get some injector O-rings to go ahead and do that. I don't think I have any here. I can look, but that's probably going to have to be something that we order up. But for now, let's just go ahead and toss this rail in here so we can see what it will look like. So I'll have to get some Dash 10 ORB fittings for the ends of these, some new injector O-rings to go into the intake manifold side. Other than that, man, look at that as a finished product. How sweet is that going to look when it's all said and done? Got plenty of room. I'll be able to run a crossover underneath the intake manifold. And then whenever we get to the wiring portion, we'll be able to pull a lot of our wires. We've got so much room in between the runners that we'll be able to tuck most of the wiring underneath the intake manifold to keep everything nice and clean, coming out to our accessories, all that stuff. Okay, so I got to thinking about the injector setup, and if you've ever worked on LS1s, you might remember that those injectors come with blue O-rings top and bottom. So I went ahead and pulled the blue O-rings off the other set, and yep, that's perfect. Now, that fits snug enough. I'm not worried about it. If need to, it doesn't hurt to throw a little bit of dielectric grease if you're having a hard time getting the injectors, the O-rings in. So keep that in mind. Not an issue. Just means I'm going to have to order a set of blue O-rings for the other side, but we can go ahead and at least get one side buttoned up here and good to go. And I don't think, nope, should just pop right on. Yep. Perfection. Oh man, I love it when things work out the way they're supposed to. There you go. We've got a good idea of what the final setup's going to look like. Just remember that these are going to be ORB 10 fittings. Most LS fuel rails only use ORB 8. So if you're looking at reusing something, you're probably going to have to get bigger fittings. We're going to be running ORB 10 to Dash 8 AN. So I'm going to go ahead and get some just regular fittings and caps set up so we can cap this thing off, because the fuel system is going to be one of the last things that we run whenever it comes to this setup. Well, now that the fun part's out of the way, I guess it's time to start tackling the boring part, the wiring of the core. I don't think it's going to be that bad. We are going to do a couple specific things that we'll dive into on that series. So if you're not already subscribed, what are you doing? Go down and subscribe for it. I've got a couple small other things to kind of button up in here. In the meantime, nothing that really concerns you. And then I'll get the ORB 10 fittings and the correct injector O-ring so we can go ahead and button up the rest of the injectors and fuel rails. But for now, we're looking really good. The nice thing about it is there's a company that makes a LS swap air intake that puts the intake right over in the fender well area, so you're getting nice clean air, nothing off the radiator. So I need to get one of those on the way so we can button up the front of this. Other than that, man, gorgeous. Let me know what you guys think. Should I get a different set of valve covers that match the intake manifold a little better? Unfortunately, Frankenstein doesn't make an LS valve cover for the monster heads. I think they've got one for the F-Series heads if you're running those. So we're going to have to go possibly a different route. Not that I don't like the BTR valve covers. I think they're good looking. They just don't look good compared to the glamour that is the Frankenstein intake manifold. This is the most beautiful thing I've ever installed on a car. I'm not going to lie. I feel like that scene in Fast and Furious whenever Jesse pulls up next to the dude in the S2000, Paul Walker's like, dude, he's got at least 100 grand under the hood of that thing.
Don't do it. I bet you he's got more than 100 grand under the hood of that car.
It feels like it. I mean, not quite that much, but this is the most expensive LS I've ever put together, and it's only naturally aspirated. But once again, before we wrap this up, huge shout out to Frankenstein Engine Dynamics. Those guys have been great. I appreciate all their support. Look forward to, continuing to work with them further down the road. As always, ICT Billet, longtime supporter of the channel. This wouldn't work without companies like that. And so just show them some love. Go over, check it out. Make sure that you're subscribed to their social media. Make sure you're dropping likes on Frankenstein's post on Instagram if you're on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, why are you not following me? You get behind the scenes photos of what's going on. But you guys know the drill. I'm going to get back to it. ABT, always be tuning.